Hi, everybody. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in. If you want to share me out, share me out. I'm live, everybody. Hey, Anastasia girl. How you? Look, I'm sitting here texting. Ain't seen nobody in the live. Hey, how are you guys on today? Um, Hope everybody had a good weekend. Did everybody have a good weekend? Hold on, y'all. Let me charge my. Hold on a minute. Jay, you better. Why? Why, girl? Tell me what's going on. Why you slept for 4 hours? OMG. Sorry to hear that. One of your babies sick? Hey, Donna. How you doing? Long time no see. Exactly. Exactly. Where are the boys? We're gonna get into that today on tonight. Um, the prosecution has rest and uh, um, Flores Stallings, Flora Stallings, she has done is presenting her defense, and we're gonna talk about that on tonight. Um, so make sure you guys, if you haven't already, hit the like button. I'm just waiting for some people to come in, and then we're gonna get into it. Um, just allow me 2 minutes. Hold on, just a minute, y'all. How everybody been doing though? Hey, Reese. Yes, it's more of Jacqueline. Yes, it has been more of Jacqueline. I'm doing good, Anastasia. Thank you. Um, Thank you, Reese. How are you today? So yeah, I'm gonna get up the tweets. Uh, like I see what the defense is. I understand the defense is here to discredit everything that the prosecution um, has put up, and we're gonna do all what we can, y'all, to I'm gonna get everything up that I possibly can to give I'm trying to stay afloat and not be like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days behind because last week was a killer. Um, so um, we're going to like I said, they said this trial should end by June, and you can believe that. Oh God, I know how that is. Uh Oh Lord, I know how that is, child. I understand how them bad storms work. Oh my God, yes. So I hope everybody's doing well. Even I hope even the people that's in the bushes. I hope you guys are doing well too. Um, thank you for watching and make sure you hit the like button, please. Make sure you hit the like button, please. Um, we're going to move forward. I understand when kids get disturbed, you can't go sleep. No, they from what I'm understanding, I guess the defense um has witnesses too. They're gonna call everybody back on the stand and discredit them, like and say that they wasn't credible. Um, and you know what I'm saying. But one thing about Tori Stallings, all of a sudden she ain't hollering and all aggressive um, when she's putting up her defense, but she was aggressive when she was speaking, cross-examining the witnesses of the prosecution. She's coming off, I don't know. She's not coming off as something that I just don't like. I just don't like her demeanor in the courtroom. She's trying to be aggressive, but it's coming off not right. Not it kind of rude. And if I was on the prop jury, I'd be like, "You're rude." You know that on the jury stand, I would be the I understand, but she took a long nap. They're on the on see for okay, so let's catch up. So Donna, it was discovered last week that one of the boys did not make it to Cal City. Um, one of the boys was found dead. And then they moved to Cal City, and one of the boys, it was this is one of the older children said Oren, I think it was Oren or Orson, one of the boys maybe had choked in his sleep, and the parents was crying, and they were saying that they didn't want the other children to know, so they promised the parents that he'll keep the secret. And so what ended up happening is they moved to Cal City, and then they decided that hey, since one is gone, they brought like the bed and stuff to make sure that the other little ones wouldn't notice that Oren was missing, and then they got rid of the second child. And yeah, it's coming off very rude, and I don't like that. Oh yeah, y'all. I do want to give y'all an update. I don't know if I gave y'all an update on my Outback shenanigans situation. I did receive an email from I guess someone in operations of Outback, and they did apologize and they said they was gonna let the store know about my complaint about how they treated me um, at at um at the store because I felt very disrespected, and y'all, I'm gonna get through it. Just give me a second. Let me just find the beginning of the trial. All right, y'all, let's get it. Yeah, I don't. I feel like, from what I'm understanding, they may have murdered the second one, but the first one could have been murdered too because you don't know what they put inside. Um, they Let me read it, and then we'll move on. Hey, Trisha, how are you? Um, hold on just a minute. I got it Friday, and then we're gonna move on. Right, I do believe. I think the first one, whatever he drunk out that bottle made him sick. I don't know what whatever he drunk out that bottle. So it wasn't Outback, it was Longhorn. It says, "Hi Monica, I am sincerely sorry your visit to our restaurant have raised an issue or concern. Your feedback is very important to us, and situations such as yours are thoroughly investigated as we value all our guests and employees. Every member of our team is expected to make a positive impression. Your service survey clearly demonstrates that we failed to do so, and your concern is understandable. We apologize for the poor managers and disposition of our team. We'll share your feedback with the restaurant and leadership to take appropriate actions. Our team is devoted to reviewing and analyzing all guest comments to internally address this issue and determine any area they may need improvement. We want you to know that we really appreciate you for being our guest. Your fellow steak lover, Tiffany. Guest relations, Longhorn Steakhouse." So basically, they see my concern. They gonna address it. We'll see. I forgive and I moved on. It is what it is. So y'all, let's get into this on tonight. And I hope everybody had a good weekend. So it says here, the authorities said that Orrin Orson died 3 months before the West reported him missing. Detective Thomas Hernandez is back on the stand. Um, let me let me just It says here Thomas Hernandez is back on the stand under cross examination by Timothy Hennessy, lead attorney for Trezell West. He is discussing receiving a tip from a woman who said she saw the boys in Arlington, Texas. An address and license plate was given. Hernandez said an Arlington man testified last week the woman was mistaken. The children are his own biological children. Hennessy is asking if another man, not the one who testified, also lived at that address. Hernandez said he would have to review the report. The detective is reviewing the report. Hernandez said an investigator looked into the matter and it was determined the children in question were not Orrin and Orson. Hennessy is continuing to ask about a Victor Rodriguez, another man who lived at the Arlington address. Prosecutor Eric Smith has objected, and the judge said there is no info. Rodriguez lived at the address, but was associated with it through the tip made to the FBI. See what I'm saying? Some folks be making tips and don't be. Let me tell y'all something. If it ain't a true tip, don't call the FBI. Got these people on a wild goose chase. Nah, they didn't give me no certificate. I don't think I ever gonna go back because I didn't like the vibe. These people, like, people be calling, swearing that they done seen this person, swear they done seen that person, and you could lose leading the FBI on a wild goose chase. So please, with all your tips, I understand you want to find the boys. Is it blurry? Let me know if it's blurry, then I can fix it. Let me see. You know, Trisha, I'll put it up a little bit closer for you, love. All right, how about that? Let me do it two. I put it up a little bit closer for you. All right, how about that? Hold on. It is a little bit blurry on my end too. Now mine's a little bit blurry too. Hold on. It is a little bit blurry on my end too. All right, now it's good now. All right. All right, so it says here prosecutor Eric Smith has objected, and the judge said there is no info Rodriguez lived at the address but was associated with it through the tip made to the FBI. Hernandez said he doesn't know what Rodriguez looked like. Hennessy asked about Rodriguez being investigated for drug smuggling, and the judge sustained an objection and struck the question from the record. A sidebar is being held. Now, what this man doing dealing with drug smuggling got anything? Hey, Chris, how you doing? Um, what they got to do with anything about the children being missing? Now, you know what I'm saying? Is this man a child abductor or something? This is all hearsay. Um, it says here, back from the sidebar, Hennessy is asking about a tip from a Hector Rodriguez that led to a home being checked for the boys. Detective Hernandez said he doesn't recall the name, but knows that home was checked. Hennessy asked if the person who made the tip said they had more info but were afraid of physical harm. Hernandez reviewed the tip. The judge reminded the jury this info is only being allowed for them to consider what Hernandez did in relation to the tip. Hernandez said he followed up on the tip but did not contact the tipster. He said when it came to tips, there were houses, vehicles, and leads they looked in. In this case, police went to the house and didn't find Ori and Orsi because they never were there. Hold on a minute, y'all. All right, y'all. So it says here that Hennessy finished questioning Hernandez, and now Alexia Torres Stallings, counsel for Jacqueline, will question him. Hernandez said he read the reports of Cal City Brian Hansen, and but did not see the videos of their interviews until they were played in court. On December 29th, 2020, took part in a welfare check at Hold on just a minute. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Um, so it says here that um, where Jacqueline and Giselle were living at the time, Martinez is Jacqueline's mother and had foster children. So Jacqueline's mother has foster children. Tori Stallings asked about two refrigerators at Maria Martinez's apartment. Hernandez said he doesn't recall there being two refrigerators and said the apartment wasn't searched. Hernandez said they were at Maria Martinez's home for about an hour. He said he recalls Jacqueline West cried, oh boo-hoo. Tori Stallings asking about footage from the different cameras in December. He said he didn't review footage to see the West traveling back and forth on December the 5th when they visited Maria Martinez on her birthday. Torres Stalin has moved into evidence a Taco Bell receipt from December the 8th of 2020. She asked if they checked the video footage to see the comings and goings of the West on that day. Hernandez said they did not. Moving to the interview of the West eldest child, Hernandez said he was present for the boy's third interview. He doesn't know what info was provided to Sonia Barton, the social worker who interviewed the child. An updated police report written by Hernandez and other detectives runs to 2,000 pages. 2,000 pages, y'all. Since then, during the trial, supplemental reports have been written, Hernandez said. Hernandez said he did not write a report about the first report made by the eldest child to his resource parent. He said he found out the info by second or third hand. It says here, Torres Stalling is attempting to show the eldest child may have seen certain things about a case online or on the news or been told them. But if the child seen it online, hey Chris, if I have not spoken to anybody, if the child has seen it online and see when we get a little bit further down in the timeline, she's going to try to discredit this child. She's going to try to say that this child was lying just because he's seen something on TV. He can't make this shit up. He can't make this up. Only thing that he's going to see is his parents on TV talking about the missing boys. But he can't make up that he's seen the child that was dead. Now, so he said he has displayed a photo showing Hernandez with the boys' resource parent, and the boy as they tried to get passwords for his parents' phone. The boy no longer will live with that resource parent, and they have lived with another woman since the end of January of 2021. Hernandez said he went to their residence to check up on the children. Torres Stalin asked Hernandez if he was aware the eldest child said the first resource parent told him the boys were dead. She said the boys told his grandmother she had said that. And here, yeah, because that's all hearsay. So all of a sudden, you see how she trying to discredit the child, saying that the grandmama, that the resource parent told the boy that the boys are dead. And he just came up in his mind that this is how the boys are dead. Now, how did they get from the first interview? Now, if we think about the first interview that the oldest child said he really wasn't believable. He was just saying that, Orrin and Orson is missing, and he really didn't know nothing about nothing. But then after the second or third interview, he started opening up. So, because he didn't want to get his parents in trouble, but he wanted to tell the truth. But at the end of the day, don't discredit this child. She's trying to discredit the child, so she can. I understand that this is just, everybody has the right to due process, but child. So it says here, Hernandez is reviewing a report to see if the woman's name is mentioned. He said she was mentioned during a pre-test call with one of the other West children. Hernandez said he wasn't present when the children testified before the grand jury and doesn't know if their resource parent was present. Moving back to the apartment of Jacqueline West's mother, Hernandez reviewed photos and said there are 2 refrigerators there. Hernandez said he contacted the neighbor who lived behind the West. Torres Stalin asked if he recalls her telling him the search parties took place a couple of days after she saw a man in a red sweater and ski mask. He said he doesn't recall that. So all of a sudden now, I'm telling you, man, delusional, boy. But the mama said, now remember, the mama said in her initial interview or her initial court appearance testifying on the stand that she don't know nothing about her daughter. They really wasn't close and all of that. So somebody lied about something. After reviewing a transcript, Hernandez said that's correct. Hernandez said he has read the report of an interview with Perla Martinez, Jacqueline's sister. He said he did not review records to see if there was a call made on December the 18th. Torres Stalin asked Hernandez if he come across a journal for Jacqueline. He said he went through it. It's from 2021. She asked if he was aware Orson and Orrin's birthday were in the planning. So what that has to do with the missing, what that got to do with anything? So you saying just because their birthday was written down that, oh, this shows that she cared? Child, please. Exactly. Tell them Trisha and Maria, because the mama knew too. Because she lied. I done caught her on 3 lies. It says here, Torres Stalin showed him a copies of pages from the journal, but he said they don't refresh his memory as to the birth dates of Orrin and Orson. Torres Stalin has moved onto the interview on July the 1st, in which Hernandez questioned Jacqueline West. It says here, a pest control person told police he saw 6 or 7 children in the home when he went there, Hernandez said. He said he still focused on the West as behind the disappearance of Orrin and Orson. Torres Stalin is referring Hernandez to the surveillance footage of the West home on December the 9th of 2020. The same day, they dropped off their 4 oldest children in Bakersfield. She played a video of two people walking up the street who stopped at an intersection by the West home. Hernandez said those people were never identified. Found somebody could have been walking. She said, "You don't know what they were doing. Is that fair?" Look at this? She said, "You don't know what they were doing. Is that fair to say?" Torres Stalin asked, "Walking." That's it. He said, "You talking about I don't know what they doing?" He said, "They walking." Yeah. He said, "What they doing?" She said, "He said walking." Oh Lord. So he said they walking. Um, he said there was no an objection to showing a second video, and Judge Char R. Beamer called a sidebar. The judge and attorney came back, and a 15-minute break was announced. Um, no, I believe the older son story because it seems like it's more believable. Because I don't I believe the little boy, after he realized the severity of everything, he wanted to tell the truth. And I do believe that the kids, they got whoopings, and I believe that the boy that got out, the one that was, that testified last week saying that Jacqueline, was calling the little boys weird and stuff like that. I believe that's how she felt. So I honestly do believe that you know they weren't good foster parents. They loved their children, but really the foster children, Ori and Orson, they was just there for money. They really didn't want to deal with children, babies, 3 and 4 years old. So nobody has found the bodies. Nobody. So court back in session with Hernandez still on the witness stand being cross-examined by Torres Starlings. Hernandez said he talked about sexual predators with Jacqueline West during a July the 1st, 2021 video interview. He said he didn't follow up on the Texas league until Hennessy gave his opening statement. Hernandez said he was aware there was a list of pooled of sexual offenders living in Cal City at the time of reported disappearance. He says he has not followed up on the other individuals on that list. She ended questioning. On redirect, Hernandez said the pest control guy gave multiple figures as to how many children he saw at the West home. On recross, Torres Stalin asked again about his interview with that man. Hernandez is done, and the prosecution has rested this case. So, prosecution has rested this case. It ends with Hernandez. Um, so Hernandez is the main investigator, the one that basically knew, he was the last person that spoke with Jacqueline, and Jacqueline couldn't keep her lies straight last week, and so she talking about a TT and all that right there. Now TT and she don't even know what TT name is, but that's one of Ori and Orson aunties from the biological family, and they said the biological family don't even have a TT in their family. Um, the West, child, I don't know their ages right now. I can't even think. They in their 20s, late 20s or early 30s. It says here that her opening, Tori Stalin will be reserved her opening statement until after the prosecutor rested. We'll present her opening in a few minutes. Okay. So it says here, court back instead session with Tori Stallings presenting her opening statement. She has displayed a photo of Christmas stockings hung at the West home. She's about to start. So she's going to start where the kids was missing. But you ain't gonna talk about prior. So you're gonna talk about Christmas where Jacqueline allegedly said that she was wrapping Christmas gifts. Um, yep, this is what she said. She said Jacqueline West was wrapping gifts for his her 6 children when her 2 youngest were taken. There are no confessions and there is no forensic evidence. All we have is the story of a 10-year-old boy. This is what Stallings is saying. Stallings said the timeline is important. She said there was a separate investigation that was also occurring at the same time as law enforcement, and that one was conducted by Child Protective Services. There was a proof of life called at Wanda West's residence, Trezell West's mother, who had the other 4 children, when Orrin and Orson were reported missing. On December 22nd, the other children were interviewed by Officer Brian Hansen, who has admitted having no training in interviewing children. The boys were interviewed by Sonia Barton, and at 3 p.m. the day the boys were detained by CPS. On December 23rd, Barton and a social worker were involved in text communication. The FBI used ground penetrating radar and found no human remains. The West van was forensically analyzed and no evidence found. It says here, days passed with nothing, she said. The West eldest child had access to the internet. On December 28, 2020, there is communication, a text message from Barton to Officer Hansen. And at 3:36 p.m., the eldest child is interviewed by Barton a third time. Torres Stallings said it's unknown who was present or why they were present or what info was given to the child and how that impacted him. The defense expert witness, Dr. Susan, I ain't gonna mess up her name, will testify to how these things can impact a child's testimony. Um, Susan will talk about the history of forensic interviews, the mass hysteria of child sex cases that happened in the 1980s. The 1980s, what they got to do? You need to find something current in the 2020s, not the 1980s. As a result of forensic interviews in which nearly all she ain't got no ground to stand on, basically, which nearly all defendants have been exonerated. Susan will talk about the importance of confirmation bias, she said. She said she'll look at Hansen's video, all 3 of the eldest child interview, and how Barton's second interview of him was very suggestible, browbeating child into saying what she wants. Susan will conclude, taking all of the data points she has evaluated, that there was implantation, coercive techniques that made the eldest child susceptible to false memories. Another expert witness, Christopher Armstrong, will testify to the video surveillance footage showing the West home. She said Armstrong enhanced those videos and took a still from December 19th of 2020. She said shows someone carrying a child to the van, a child, but not 2 children, a child. That's still not proof of life that Orrin and Orson were living. Oh, I hope closing statement. I hope Mr. Smith tell her butt up in his ending statement. I hope he tell her up in her ending statement because this is just crazy. Armstrong will also testify to a car scene in another video that he will stay stopped, reversed, and went forward again. Armstrong will testify to contrast ratios, luminosity studies. She said, at the conclusion of our case, it is still a tragedy. She said, the outstanding question of where the boys are will still remain. She said, however, there will be reasonable doubt and the jury will find Jacqueline and Trezell not guilty on all counts. Torres Stallings has finished her opening statement. She said this about 30, y'all took about an hour. So what do you guys think so far? You could, yeah. She has to bring to create a reasonable doubt. What she's saying is that the eldest child could have been coerced. What she was calling it priming. When I was listening to, I didn't get to listen to all the court, but she called it priming. She said that um, the Barton lady and the detective was, or the people that were interviewing the children were priming them to give them something, or give them some kind of to give them to tell them what's going on, putting using suggestive stuff, saying that, hey, this is what happened, not letting the child explain what happened. Yeah, shenanigans. That's what you call it. Yes, shenanigans. But from what I'm understanding, what I have heard, it didn't sound like the child was being primed. If he seen something on the news, it's not gonna say the boys were dead this type of way, that type of way. It didn't say that. All thing it said was, if he did look at the internet, if he did look at the TV, if he did see his parents on the news, on the interview, they said that Orrin and Orson were missing. They didn't say Orrin and Orson were dead and how they died and anything like that. When the boy was interviewed, 3 times the children were interviewed, and if they looked at the news at that time, they wasn't saying that the boys were dead. They were saying the boys were missing. So that's not priming the children, and in my opinion, it seems like she really can't give a timeline for Jacqueline and Trezell, showing that, hey, she still hasn't answered to yet, where are the boys? And she probably won't answer to that. She still hasn't. She's gonna have to find a way to say that, hey, those boys. She gonna have to, instead of talking about, see, this her defense ain't right, because she want to talk about how bringing reasonable doubt to the prosecution, where it try to debunk everything the prosecution has said and prime the children for this confession and stuff like that. But you still have to prove that the boys were in their home when they went missing. She can't prove that. She can't prove that before they were charged with murder, or she can't prove where the boys are, and she can't prove that those boys were at that home when they went missing. She has to prove that. And for what I'm reading and understanding, what I have listened to, she ain't got it. She ain't got it. And see, that's what's going to hurt her case, because she's trying to debunk CPS and the little boy's statement, but she still can't say that those boys, she can't prove that the boys were kidnapped. She can't prove that. Okay, so let's get back to it. So they called Christopher Armstrong on the stand, and he's an accident reconstructionist. He performed work on video and still images for the defense in this case. Armstrong is being paid $295 an hour for his testimony. He said he believes the county is paying his company. So this man getting paid $300 a lie. Now let me stop. Let me stop. So it says here, Armstrong reviewed the Bakersfield Police Department report. Several surveillance videos taken from the home next to the West home, photographs and aerial views of the West home and surrounding area. Armstrong testified he enhanced videos using similar techniques as to what an FBI witness testified to earlier in the trial. He enhanced videos from December the 19th and December the 21st. Horace Stallings has shown Armstrong an image, and he's describing what he did to enhance it. She's going to play the video. It says here, according to recess until 1:30. So let me. So we in recess right now. Let me take this off the screen, and then we'll proceed to after lunch. You said that's what they paying for. If the kids in the yard, they have dug up. They dug up their whole entire backyard. Like them babies is not in the backyard. They are not in the backyard. They're not probably in California City. They might not even be in Bakersfield. Um, I just hope they're just in the arms of God at this moment. That's what I feel. They in the arms of Jesus because as of right now, um, you know, the children, you know, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. It seems like their bodies would never turn up. And I just don't believe neither one are living. I may be wrong, um, but I don't believe neither one of those children are living. And I hope to God, I hope they're resting in the arms of Jesus. Um, and I pray that, if Jacqueline Trezell is responsible for all this, that God will always convict their spirits because they are just innocent children. And if this was an accident, they could have easily called 911 instead of covering it up. That's what I honestly do believe. That's what I believe. I don't know. I just pray that the babies are where they loved it, and God. One thing I know, one thing for certain, and two things for sure. God love is the best love. So God love is the best love that we can always have. His grace and His mercy is sufficient, and them babies where they need to be. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if those kids were malnourished because I don't believe that she was feeding them like that. But I could be wrong. But give me a minute. I know. Hold on a minute, y'all. I'm still here, y'all. I'm just trying to find where we start back from lunch. Sorry. Hold on, y'all. Okay. God, I'm almost there. I wish they could just keep it all on the same three. Uh, and I wish they would have did it live so I could just watch the interview. But I know that would have took forever in the day. Okay, so where is this? Okay, we back in session now. Let's get it. Let's go. I know I'm gonna have to zoom this up on the screen. Jacqueline probably in protective custody. So it says here Christopher Armstrong, who enhanced the images, is still on the stand. It says here Armstrong testified one of the video of the West home on December 21st, 2020 shows lights in the background that is, in his opinion, corresponding with the motion of a car on the roadway. Armstrong said the video shows someone on the right door of the West van, but you can't see who it is. You can see the door open, but can't see the person because they are wearing dark clothing and there is very little reflective light. Torres Stalling asked about what someone, um, hopefully y'all can see this. It says someone 3 feet tall wearing dark clothing. She asked about someone 3 feet tall. Now the man didn't say that he didn't see somebody 3 feet tall. He said he seen somebody open the door. She said, if you can't see them in that video, does that mean they're not on the video? No, Armstrong said. You can't say something isn't there just because you can't see it due to the contrast in the video. He said two small children would be much harder to see than if an adult opened the door. The clothing and the color of their skin could also make it more difficult to see them. The darker the clothing and skin color, the more difficult to see in the video taken at night. Laura Stalling ended her questioning. Smith has begun cross-examination and asking Armstrong what software he used. Smith asked him what happens when you zoom into the footage. Armstrong said it makes it larger. Smith said the quality diminishes the more it zoomed in. Armstrong testified he saw no one else in the backyard, even on his enhanced video, other than a person in the backyard previously pointed out by the prosecution. Child, debunked. So, did you observe two small children at any point? Smith asked. Armstrong said no. So, Stalin's baby. Now, y'all read that. You're welcome. All right. You're welcome. So she said, did you observe? He asked the witness, the enhancer, when he enhanced the video, did he see any children at any point? Two small children. He said no. So, debunked. On the redirect, Armstrong testified what could be signed behind the height of the fence. What could be signed behind the height of the fence given the measurement he was given. Armstrong has been excused. So Armstrong said that he enhanced his video, and by his video, it's supposed to show that there's supposed to be some reasonable doubt that the kids could have possibly went in that van. But from the from what he testified to, he said he didn't see, when he enhanced the video, he didn't see no two small children. So Ms. Stallings, where are you going with this, sweetheart? Where are you going, Ms. Stallings? Because he's supposed to. Where is the doubt in that testimony, y'all? Do y'all have any reasonable doubt? Put it in the chat. What did Mr. Armstrong testimony prove? Put it in the chat. What did Mr. Armstrong prove? That he enhances videos and that you couldn't see, in my opinion, exactly nothing. It was no reasonable doubt there. But let's go on, y'all. It says here, Pamela Castillo has been called to the stand. She is in the adoption unit in the Department of Human Service. She was assigned to the West case on December the 23rd of 2020. On that day, she got a paper with the name and began doing background checks. She said her first point of contact was the FBI. She said the boys were most likely at the Jameson Center or a foster home at that point. Castillo testified she had a couple of conversations with social worker Sonia Barton on the morning of December the 23rd. She said she hadn't yet communicated with the resource parent with whom the children were staying. On December the 24th, she went to a hearing to file a petition to keep the children in custody while the investigation continued. Then over the weekend, she talked with a lieutenant at the California City Police Department. Think about if they would have let Jacqueline and Trezell kept them children while the investigation was still going. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be where we at today if they wouldn't file this petition to let them stay in custody until after the investigation. It's gonna be I hope we're gonna be on verdict watch. I know that. As if she followed the case at all on the news or Facebook, Castillo said, I think I tend to follow all cases. Castillo, questioned by Torres, said she's aware her text messages and email regarding this case has been provided to attorneys. Torres Stalin asked if Castillo examined the emergency response referral in this case. She said yes, but hasn't seen it in a long time. And Torres Stalin handed her a copy. Castillo confirmed the referral form only related to Ora and Orson, not the other West children. And it was for general neglect. Castillo said on December the 22nd, she became aware she would be assigned to the case. Thorin Stallings asked who she heard about it from. Castillo said not from social worker Sonia Barton, but she started speaking with her about it that day. Castillo said it's a small office and they talk about different cases when they come in. To the best of my knowledge, yes, Castillo said when asked if the children were detained at 3 p.m. on December the 22nd. She said, I did, I do, and the judge thought so as well, Costello said when asked if she thought she had enough evidence to detain. She did. It's some children were missing. And then a little boy has confessed that shit, something happened to their brothers, to their adopted brothers. Child, they tampering with evidence. They need to get all types of stuff. They're basically murder. I think I have to. I know ask me because I have to go back. Says here's Tori Stalin asked Castillo if she was aware if there was an issue with the initial contact with the children. She said no. A sidebar has been called. The judge and attorneys are back. Costello says she has not reviewed the emails from DHS that were provided in this case. Costello says she believes corrections were later made to the documents provided to the court. She said county counsel suggested it. Costello testified she contacted Officer Brian Hansen at 11:05 a.m. on December 28th because she received information about what may have happened to Ori and Orson. She couldn't reach him. Followed up with the FBI. On that same day, she contacted Sonia Barton to schedule a forensic interview. Tori Stalin asked if Barton was panicked. Costello said she was a little nervous. Who wouldn't be? So, court is in recess for 15 minutes. It says court is back in session with Costello on the stand being questioned by Tori Stalin. Costello said she spoke with Sonia Barton after the children were interviewed. Barton said he's lying, according to a message sent between Barton and Costello. Tori Stalin is going over messages the two social workers sent each other. Costello said she was present during the third interview of the eldest child. Barton left twice during the interview to speak with law enforcement. Law enforcement was telling her which topics to cover. She said she doesn't know if they told her about a real estate agent. Costello said the interview was conducted at the request of and guidance of law enforcement. They're the experts. Tori Stalin's finished and Smith is questioning her. Costello is going over the hearing where a judge determined there was enough evidence for CPS to continue its investigation. She confirmed no one from the DA office was at the dependency hearing. Smith ended his question. Costello has been excluded. So, what do you guys think of Costello's testimony? Does that bring any reasonable doubt? Basically, she's saying that they didn't fully do all the paperwork right. They were saying that they asked for the removal of Ori and Orson and not the removal of all the West children. But she said as time progressed, from what I'm reading and understanding, is that it was by the judge's decision that it was best to keep the kids. They updated the paperwork and the kids were taken. They still so it still doesn't show where they are not responsible for the disappearance of Ori and Orson. That still doesn't debunk or bring reasonable doubt in my mind. It just says that, you know what I'm saying, they did do, like I said, they didn't do a good investigation, but the timeline that the prosecution at this point, from what I'm understanding, is showing is like, is basically saying in my mind that them kids were not at that home. I don't know what happened to them, but they were not at that home. One made it and the other one didn't. So it says here that Sonia Barton, who was previously testified, has been called to the stand. She's a social worker who interviewed the other West children. Barton had 2 interviews with the West eldest child on December 22nd, and Stallings is going to play the second interview. Transcripts are being handed out to the jury. The video is playing. Barton is asking about discipline in the house. The boy said his father would either give them a tongue lashing or make them sit in a corner. Barton asked about being forced to take cold showers. The boy said he never had a cold shower as a form of punishment, and he thinks sometimes the shower turned on cold that just needed to warm up. Boy tells the boy all his brothers talks about the cold showers. The boy said Ori and Orson took cold showers too. What? And Barton reminds the boy he said he will tell the truth and ask if he doesn't see anything going on inside the house and not hear it or what. The boy denies being spanked with the belt and bleeding. The boy said he thinks his brothers exaggerated the punishment. The boy said there is nothing that's gone on at his house that he's concerned about. The video is over. Cora Stalling ended her questioning, and now Timothy Hennessy, lead attorney for Trezell West, is questioning her. Barton confirmed she conducted a forensic interviews of all the boys. It was on December 28th that the eldest boy said he saw Orrin die. Prior to that, he didn't say that. Barton said she's aware the purpose of the forensic interview is to make sure the children tell the truth and aren't improperly influenced. Between December 22nd and 28th, Barton said she came to the conclusion that the parents were lying after seeing the interview the parents gave to the news and interviewing the children at the first time. Hennessy had asked about Facebook stories Barton shared with another social worker that weren't true and how Barton kept falling for them. She's confirmed that's true. Hennessy asked, she said, these kids just need to spill the beans already. Barton confirmed that's true. Hennessy asked if that's true when the FBI asked for fingerprints of the children. She sent a text to another circuit worker asking how many bodies of a 3 to 4-year-old could they have, and used the shrug emoji. Barton said that's correct. Barton confirmed the message was sent before the eldest child interview on December 28th. Barton said some of her text messages with another circuit social worker were just conversation. Hennessy ended his question. On the questioning by Tori Stalling, Barton said she and the other social worker did not discuss the alternate theory that Ori and Orson were kidnapped. Barton was excused, and the court is in recess until 9 a.m. tomorrow. So tomorrow, they in recess until tomorrow until 9 a.m. So, thank you for the like, Mary Pan. Let me. Okay, so basically, they're saying that they forced the little boy to say these things, but the other children wasn't saying anything true. They're saying the oldest wasn't coerced, wasn't speaking. He wasn't telling the truth in the beginning because he didn't want to get his parents in trouble. He didn't know nothing about nothing. And then basically the kids that were talking, now they don't know nothing about nothing. So you have to come up with the conclusion that, you know, because they asked the kids who was in the van, they said Orson was not in the van. And then, they don't, the stockings and all that. I honestly do believe that Orson, I do, I hate to say it, but Orson are gone. And I do believe they are responsible for the disappearance of these boys. I don't believe that they are kidnapped. Um, yeah, that's a lot to be kids to be under pressure like that. So they're gonna tell you whatever sometimes. But when you talk to them and try to build something with them, you'll get to the truth. Um, you will get to the truth. Um, hold on, y'all. That secret meeting came after fight. I think it's definitely fake. Okay. Yeah, it is a lot for kids. So, you know what I'm saying? At first, you know what I'm saying? I know they've been taken away from their family because Ori and Orson is missing. And they like, well, Ori, then they get to think about Ori and Orson wasn't in the van with us. And then they get to thinking about, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to get their parents in trouble because they want to stay with their parents. And then they're scared. You know, the kids have all different kind of emotions, but they want to. You know, you can only get what you can out these children. But I honestly do believe the oldest. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he was coerced. He just spoke the truth because you know, just like you know what I'm saying, they found text exchange calling the kids the weird one and stuff like that. I honestly believe that's how she felt about the kids. She knew them kids with special needs and didn't get them no help. Um, she kept them in the house, deprived from human in society. So yeah, I don't, you know, it's a mess, and you know, um, all I can say is, guys, tomorrow we'll be live again. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. We will discuss this further tomorrow. Anybody got anything to say, or all hearts and minds are clear? All hearts and minds are clear. All right. Well, we will see y'all tomorrow around. I'm gonna try to finish up the schoolwork tonight, and I'll try to be live on tomorrow, guys. By 8 or 9, Jamel probably got football practice. Be by 9:30. I'll be live. So yep, till tomorrow. We'll see what come out of court tomorrow. If you want to uh, listen to the audio, because that's all what they have is audio. Go to Kern County website and listen to thing audio court 4, audio 4 or something like that. And y'all be able to listen to the trial. All right, y'all have a good night. Peace.